Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Brian Canfield, the head boys basketball coach at Bloomfield Hills. How's it going?
Good, Casey. I'm great. Thanks for having me today.
Okay, so I know one of the biggest stories of the offseason was, of course, you taking the Bloomfield Hills job. Obviously, your kids have gone through this program.
Yeah.
Played under Phil. When Phil stepped aside, I know a lot of people, it was one of the most popular jobs out there. And then, what made you decide, I've watched this team for so long, might as well, I know you have coaching experience. Why now? Why take this job?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that's what my wife asked me. I think you've talked to my kids too and interviewed
Yes.
Them before.
Yes.
And, I've coached basketball for years, going on almost 30 years, high school coach, head varsity coach, even year at a small college, and got away from it when I got into administration. I'm an elementary school principal. And during that time, just coached AAU basketball and then spent time with my kids with basketball and watching them play basketball at Bloomfield Hills. So my oldest son, Tyler, graduated in 2018. He plays at Indiana Tech. And then Mason graduated in 21 and he plays at Concordia. And I have a younger one coming up, Carter, who's in 8th grade, and he plays basketball too. So we've just really been part of the basketball community at Bloomfield Hills and watching my kids play and benefit from playing basketball at Bloomfield Hills High School, going to school at Bloomfield Hills High School, to me was just a rewarding experience. And I look at how they benefited from being coached at Bloomfield Hills. Coach Phil had a great impact on their life. And, when it opened, I felt like I wanted to return that and help Bloomfield Hills kids the same way that my kids were helped. So I feel kind of in debt, and I want to be able to give back to the community and to the program.
Okay. So I know that, I know the season, I believe the season I know it starts for you this week. I'm not sure when, if it's tonight or if it's Friday. But
Tomorrow.
Okay. So let's, might as well preview that matchup. Who do you have tomorrow?
So we play Romeo tomorrow.
Okay. What's it going to be like going back out? I mean, you've been doing this for a while, but what's it going to be like going back out there with this job?
I'm excited to be back out there. Our team has been working really hard for a couple of weeks here. We've had some great practices and just working really hard and being prepared for this game tomorrow. I'm excited for the game tomorrow. The state cut a week out of the preparation time to prepare for a game, so it's a week shorter. And during that time, I always felt like that game just comes too fast and you're not quite ready for it. And you wish you had more time. But I can tell you, even with losing a week, I feel like we're in a really good spot for tomorrow. And I'm kind of done with the practices and I'm ready. I'm excited to play a game. Yeah. I know our kids feel that way too.
Okay, so let's talk about your team for a second. So talk about some of the returners that you have coming back, as well as some of the guys to watch out for.
Yeah, so we have Noah Adamczak coming back. He's the only starter from last year's team that's returning. So we do have a new team coming in, right? And so a lot of people know Noah. Noah's ranked not only in the county as one of the best players, but in the state. He's on the Mr. Basketball watch list. He's been an all-state player last year, 4-year varsity player. Just really has done a tremendous job with basketball and is probably going to, in just a handful of games, be 1,000-point scorer at Bloomfield Hills. And that's with a COVID season, with a short season. I think his sophomore year, I think we played something like 12 games. So definitely a great player who can score from anywhere, shoot the ball outside, put the ball on the floor, score mid-range or even at the basket. Really can elevate, great athlete. And then coming back also who are impact players in no particular order, but Ahmad Taylor and CJ Jackson, both of them very successful football seasons this year. Yep. And now on the basketball court to continue that. They were in the rotation last year, played important minutes, so they do have experience, and there'll be two of our starters who will really help us continue with the strength of the program and be successful. CJ's a guard. Ahmad is a guard too, but he's bigger, so he kind of plays on the wing, and he can defend. Ahmad can defend 1 through 5. He can score many ways on the court, whether he shoots the 3 or faces up and takes it to the basket. He can also score in the post. Expect him to get a lot of offensive rebounds for putbacks this year. So he's one that we'll really look to anchor our defense and contribute on offense. And then CJ, just real crafty with the ball and really creative with the ball, always plays with composure, phenomenal leader. He's a really good leader, positive leader, brings young kids around, through the system, stops and teaches, really will help us on the court as being kind of like a second coach on the court. And, he can score too. He can shoot the 3. One of the things he really does well, we're going to get him in some space and get him in transition. He can score in the open court. And so those are 3 players that will really impact our team. There's a couple other contributors that people can look out for. We have 2 players that will play more like the post for us. Are Brandon Newland, who's committed to the University of Michigan for baseball, and 6'5", 6'6", athletic type 4, kind of stretch 4, even steps out, knocks the 3 down, but can really score around the basket. And then he's a junior, and then another junior is Jack Holton, who it will complement him well because Jack's more of a low post player. He can put his back to the basket. He can score. He's got good footwork. He scores with the jump hook. He can hit a medium range jumper. And we look to him to really anchor us inside. And then finally, we have a freshman, Drew Wilson, who's just really a young, phenomenal talent who is far beyond his years in basketball. He's going to get significant minutes for us, and great ball handler, great court vision and passer, but people really need to look out for his defense because as a freshman, the way he defends the ball, he really gets after it.
For sure. So we mentioned some of the games that you have. Of course, you guys start tomorrow, but talk about the league with the OAA. What's that going to be like? And obviously, as the OAA is a battle every night.
Really tough league with Farmington and West Bloomfield coming down to the white that strengthened our conference. And so it was already a good conference and already had a lot of teams that are going to compete. I don't know where all of this lands at the end of the season, because I think anybody could beat anybody in our conference and anybody could lose to anybody. So, we feel like in the OA white, we feel like really good teams top to bottom. And look, somebody's going to finish in the bottom of this conference, and it isn't going to be a bad team. It's just that they would play a really tough conference schedule. So we know we have to battle every night, and we know that every night is a team that's just as good as us, and that whoever plays better that night is the team that wins.
Yeah. Where do you think you guys are at right now heading into tomorrow?
Mm-hmm. So we're really, really in a good place where we're prepared for everything right now. Coming in as first year coach with losing that first week was not the year I wanted to do that. Even if that was going to happen next year, would have been better just for us. Anytime you have a new coach and there's a transition, then it's helpful to have some more time. But I can tell you that we've moved really fast, and our kids have really responded and have just taken in everything that we're trying to do and really committed to the system. And I can tell you that right now we still have practice tonight, another practice coming, but right now I walked out of practice and I felt like we were prepared for anything that anybody's going to throw at us during the season, whether it's man defense or zone defense, or whether they're going to press us, multiple different 3/4 core presses or full core presses. I feel like we're prepared to kind of take on anything that comes our way this week.
Yeah. And Brian, what do you want to see out of your team in these first few games heading into December, and also kind of preview what's to come as we before the new year?
Yeah, so there's there's a couple things. We had a captains or a seniors meeting at the beginning of the season to really just kind of talk and transition about, where we left off from last year. We have 4 seniors returning. So Noah, CJ, Ahmad, and then Henry Jackson is the other senior that's returning. And we had a really good conversation about where the program has gone over the last few years and how we maintain and build and improve and keep that momentum going. So two of the things that I would like to see, one, we in that seniors meeting, we talked about really having an identity as a team and really anchoring down on defense and making, playing hard and tough a staple of who we are. And so not just physically tough, but mentally tough, and being able to compete. And when things don't go your way, be able to respond. And then the other piece that I'm hoping to see is just a high basketball IQ. I've always felt that Coach Phil did a great job teaching kids how to play and developing basketball IQ. And that's something that with my teams, I've always tried to make that at the forefront and an important thing for us, where, look, we're going to teach you how to play, and demonstrate that on the court and show evidence of having a high basketball IQ. So that mental, physical toughness piece, and then being smart basketball players, playing with basketball IQ.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Brian Canfield, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. Best of luck this season.
Thanks, Casey. Appreciate your time, and hopefully cross paths again soon.
Sounds good.